Explain about cluster configuration. Cluster configuration. A cluster refers to a set of loosely or tightly connected computers working together as a unified computing resource that can create the illusion of being one machine. A cluster is a group of servers and other resources that act like a single system and enable highly availability and in some cases load balancing and parallel processing. Components of clusters are usually connected to each other using fastest area network, each node running its own instance of an operating system. In most circumstances, all the nodes uses some hardware and some operating systems, although in some setups use different hardware and different operating system. A cluster is configured in such a way that it is possible to add new systems to the cluster in small increment. Cluster have the ability to add system horizontally. This means that more computers may be added to the clusters to improve its performance, redundancy, and fault tolerance. A cluster is a type of parallel or distributed computer system which consists of collection of interconnected standalone computers working together as a single integrated computing resources. Cluster computing architecture. These are the workstations. Workstation 1, workstation 2, workstation 3, workstation 4. Um, cluster middleware. Single system image and availability infrastructure. A, it is a single systems and availability of resources of infrastructures. Sequential applications, and parallel programming environments. This is the figure of cluster computing architectures. Here is the communication switch. Compared to a single computer, cluster can provide faster processing speeds, large storage capacity, better data integrity, greater reliability, and wider availability of resources. Clusters are usually dedicated to specific functions such as load balancing, high availability, high performance, or large scale processing. Input data, root node, node 1, slave node n, slave node 2, slave node 3, and results. Interconnected with each other and provide the high availability of resources and load balancing and gives the better performance. There are three types of clusters. They are load balancing cluster, failover cluster, high availability cluster. Load balancing cluster require capability for balancing the load among available computers. Cluster nodes shares computational workload to enhance the overall performance. Failover cluster, the function of switching applications and data resources over from a failed system to an alternative system in the cluster. High availability cluster. High availability cluster refers to the resources of all are in service. If one resources fail to perform service, then service will be retried by different computers in the cluster. Advantages of clusters: absolute scalability, additional scalability, high availability, preferable price or performance. These are the advantages of cluster.